I'm Jam, and this is Jam's Adventures. We are at Orange Beach today, and we are trying to learn about trauma in my life. I'm trying to get this out of my system and talk to you guys about trauma. In the process, the sun's beating down on me. I'm sweating, but I'm enjoying the beach views, even though it's really, really hot. Just trying to get some things off my chest. The last video I gave you, the last two videos, the first video was an overview of things. The last video was talking about my childhood trauma, and of course my last video series was about how to deal with trauma and dig up that trauma and how to dig it up so you can see it. So once I dug it up and I saw that I had all this trauma and digging up the roots and seeing that this your trauma is like an iceberg, you see the tip of it, not all the big ice that's under the water. So that's you dig all that trauma up, and that's what we did in the last video series. But this is specific to that trauma, of what the trauma is and what it's done to me, what it's done to my family. And I don't want it. I want this out of my life, and I want to change. And this is my witness to other people that I'm going to try to make a change. And this is also my witness to people to see that if you're going through this similar situation or something like this, it's not just you. This happens to a lot of people. And I hope that this video is going to help myself and help other people. So let's get into it. That's cool. There's all these parasailers out there. How cool is that? Sorry, my hand's shaking. I'm trying to hold the camera still, but I'm zoomed in, so it's shaking more than it should. There's like a couple of parasailers out there. It's pretty cool. So where I left off last time was I had a breakdown in front of my family and my wife and my kids. I ended up in the hospital overnight. It was horrible. I was throwing up all night long. I was in the hospital, and at 8 o'clock in the morning they kicked me out of the hospital, and I knew my wife was mad at me, so I didn't call her. The hospital was 4 miles from my house. It was hot, so I walked all the way home in the hot sun, throwing up all the way home. I passed my wife and my kids. They were leaving, and they went and opened the door and let me in the house, and left and disappeared. And I was at home all day throwing up, being sick and being miserable. And all I wanted to do was apologize to my wife and talk to her, but she disappeared. I don't know where she went. I think she might have went to a friend's house or to a hotel or something, but whatever she did, she left and wouldn't come home that day. So I had to spend the whole day throwing up. I asked my neighbor to come over and be with me because I just wasn't in a good space. He did. His name was Dave. Thanks, Dave. Of course, Dave didn't know what to say to me, but he did come over and hang out with me for a few minutes. But so all day long, all I wanted to do was apologize to my wife. I was throwing up. I couldn't sleep, so she didn't come home. But the next night, I finally got her on the text, and she said that she would be willing to come over at 10 o'clock the next morning if the neighbors came over, and she was going to say something to me. So I'm at home by myself without a car. I'm sick as a dog. I can't sleep that night. And I'm just waiting for 10 o'clock to come around so I can see my family, because I owe them an apology and I just want to make things right. I miss them so bad. I'm worried about them because I don't know where they are, and I know they're all pissed off at me and mad at me. But so I get up 6 o'clock the next day. I clean myself up. I clean the house. I don't know what else to do because I'm so nervous. I have all this nervous energy and I'm upset. So I clean my house, and I try to figure out a way to apologize to my wife and my kids. And then they show up at 10 o'clock. And I'm all ready to, they won't come inside, so we go outside and sit on the front porch. Dave, my neighbor, and his wife come over, and I go out on the porch, and all I want to do is just tell them how stupid I am and how sorry I am and that this is never going to happen again. But I never get to have that conversation because I looked in my wife's eyes. And after 24 years of marriage, I saw something in my wife's eyes that I never saw, that I never want to see again, and that I've never seen, and I don't ever want to see. And I never thought I would see it. I have always been able to look in my wife's eyes and tell her that I love her, and she would look at me and tell me she loved me, and I could see the sparkle in her eye, and we would hug and kiss, and I always felt that love. Well, this time I looked in her eyes, and that sparkle's gone. There's a darkness, and she won't look at me. But when she does look up, I can see that the spark's gone, and it's dark. I can see this. I see that she's dark. I see the darkness in her eyes, and I realize that how bad I've really screwed up. I mean, I knew I had screwed up, but now I realize how bad I've screwed up. It's just right in front of me. And she says these words to me. She says she doesn't know how she's ever going to forgive me. She doesn't even know if she wants to forgive me. She's willing to, if the kids want to work on, she says I need to go to therapy and I need to fix myself for the kids. And if the kids are willing to forgive me, they can forgive me or whatever. But she doesn't know if she's ever going to forgive me. And she just, those words killed me. She said a lot more stuff, but that was enough. And then one of my daughters started defending her and yelling at me and screaming at me. And I knew that I was not going to win this argument. I knew that at this point there was nothing I was going to say. There was nothing I was going to do. I was outgunned by all of these children. There was 5 of them and 1 of me. My wife's there. My 5 children are there. They've obviously been talking about a lot of stuff. They are all so mad at me. And they're saying stuff to me that I never wanted to hear them say. I'm looking at my wife's eyes and I see this darkness and my heart's broken and I don't know what to do. So I can't take it. And my neighbors were there too, by the way, staring at me. And in the middle of all this crap, I just had a nervous breakdown the night before. I'd had a nervous breakdown the night before. I had not slept in 2 days. I had puked my brains out all night and all day the day before because I had overdosed on caffeine and drank some alcohol with it. So here I am in this horrible state, dehydrated, and I just can't take it. So what does Jam do? Jam doesn't know what to do. So Jam's just freaking out. So what do I do? What I do, guys? I don't know what I did. I think I had my car keys in my pocket, and I didn't have my billfold. I didn't have my driver's license. Or maybe, no, I had $20 in my pocket. I had my driver's license in my pocket. I had my car keys. That's all I had. I didn't have my cell phone. I got in my car and I just left and I drove south. Actually, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't even know where to go. I didn't know where to go. I was a wreck. So the only place I knew to go was I needed to talk to someone. So I went to my wife's aunt's house to talk to her because I was a mess. And I wasn't doing good. So I needed someone to talk to before I left town. So I went to my aunt's house and talked to her for a few minutes and kind of told her what was going on. And, and then I called my wife just to ask her if we could find a way to work through this. And she said no. She said, don't come home. And so I didn't know what to do once again. So I just got in the car and drove. I didn't even know what direction to drive. So I ended up heading south to Arkansas from Missouri. And I didn't have money. I had $20. I didn't have money for gas. I had $20. I had my driver's license. I didn't have a phone. So I ended up in Arkansas, near Rogers, Arkansas. I stopped at a Walmart, and I called my wife one more time. It was like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. So I don't have a phone, so I go into Walmart and borrow the Walmart's phone when no one was looking. And I call my wife, and I try to ask her one more time if she's going to forgive me and if we can work this out, and if I can come home, and she says no. And she's serious, and she's never said that. 24 years of marriage, she's never said that to me. So that's the 3rd time she said it. So I get in my car. I'm done. I drive north a little bit and find a church. I stop at that church. I get out of my car at this church and I prayed to God because I believe in God. And I told God, the jet flying over. Did you see it? So I get out and pray to God, and I say, God, look, God, I'm done. I only cause pain to everyone in my life. My wife is mad at me. My kids are mad at me. Everyone hates me. I hate myself. I'm mad at myself. I can't go home. My wife's never going to forgive me. And I don't want to live anymore. I'm tired. I don't want to die. I said this to God. I said, I don't want to die, but I also can't live without my family. And they're all mad at me and they're not going to forgive me. So I told God, just take me out of this world. I'm content. So I prayed for everybody in my life. I sat there at that church and prayed for everybody in my life. And I had a son. His name was David. He died when he was 5 months old. He was the only person that I know wasn't mad at me, and he's in God's kingdom in heaven. So I told God, I want to go home and get a hug from David. I need a hug right now, and no one's going to hug me on this entire planet except for David. Actually, David's not even on this planet. He's somewhere else with God. So I prayed, God, take me home, and I want to give David a hug. So I got in my car and just drove, found a quiet place and went 130 miles an hour, and somehow I totaled my car. Don't know how. I totaled my car, right? Okay, so I totaled this car, and because I totaled my car, the story is that it was raining. It was raining. There was as a matter of fact, in the next 24 hours, Rogersville got a tornado that killed 8 people, and that's where I was at. So I'm driving and it's raining and there's something in the road, like a brick or something. But anyway, that brick causes me to go off the road and trash my car. So I'm sitting on the side of the road and I'm like, okay, God, you got my attention, because now I can't go anywhere. So now, not that I had any money or anything on me or my cell phone. So now I'm out in the middle of nowhere, out in Bum Freak, Arkansas by myself, and God's got me. So I'm sitting on the side of the road all night long. It's like midnight, or it's like 11 o'clock when I trashed my car. So I sit on the side of the road almost 7 or 8 hours in Arkansas. No one stops to help me really, except 2 people. The first lady that stops is drunk. The only people who stop to ask me if I'm okay are drunk people. So guys, don't ever put your nose up at a drunk person. So this drunk lady stops and says, she says, look, I'm going home, I'm drunk, I can't call the police for you because I don't have a cell phone, and also I'm drunk and I can't be here when the police comes, but do you want me to take you somewhere? The drunk lady wants to know if she can take me somewhere. I said, nah, I'll just wait here because eventually the police will show up. Well, the police never show up. So she leaves, and then another car full of drunk people stops, and these 3 people, same way. They're like, can we help you? Do you need a ride anywhere? I'm like, no. They give me a blanket because it's getting cold. It wasn't cold, but it was going to get cold. So this drunk person gives me a blanket, and he tells me that he's a Christian and prays for me, and then they leave me there. So now I'm stuck in my car all night, just sitting on the side of the road, asking God, what do you want me to do? You won't let me kill myself. You won't let me die. So now what do I do? So I'm sitting there on the side of the road, just contemplating all of this mess and how I got into this situation, right? So the next day, I am able to get a tow truck to pick up my car. A gentleman stopped who had a phone, and I was able to call the tow truck. The tow truck driver was nice enough to take me in my car to a body shop. There's nobody there because it's the weekend. It's also Memorial Day weekend. He gives me $40, and I was like, dude, why are you giving me $40? I need to give you money. He goes, no, you look like you need this more than me. So not only did he gives me $40 and drops me off at a hotel, but because it's Memorial Day weekend and I don't have a credit card anyway, I can't get a hotel. So I asked another guy to drop me off. I have $20. Actually, I have the $40, so I asked another guy to drop me off at a restaurant on the main thoroughfare. So he does. He drops me off there, and I eventually call the only people I can call in my whole life is my mom or my daughter, and I tell them the situation, and they're 8 hours away. I'm in Arkansas. They live in Mississippi. My wife's not going to come get me, so I call them and tell them the situation, and they tell me they will figure out a way to come get me. I just have to hold tight, but they're like 8 hours away. So I'm stuck in Rogersville at this intersection, this main intersection in Rogers, Arkansas. And I go grab a bite to eat because I'm starving, and I want to keep my energy up because I'm going to be here all day. Helicopter flying over. Robinson R-44 helicopter. So I don't know what else to do because I'm bored. I'm there all day long in the heat of the day, just sitting there in Rogers, Arkansas. There's a lot of homeless people on the corners and stuff. So I go over to the gas station, I buy a bag of ice and some cups, and I get some Gatorade. And I take, this is what I do to make my time up. So I go and I talk to homeless people, and I ask them how they're doing, what they're doing. I give them ice and Gatorade, and I spend the whole day doing that. That's what I did because I had nothing else to do. And I figured, I'm not gonna sit here and feel sorry for myself. God's kept me from doing something stupid, so I'm gonna help people today. So I did. I help people and I talk to people, and I want to tell you something. This lady was in a wheelchair. She's sitting on the side of the road, and she sits there like 4, 5, 6 hours a day, and that's all she does because she's disabled and she lives in a hotel and she's in a wheelchair. And she had the worst look on her face, and she was not smiling, and she was not happy, and the heat was beating down on her. She was sweating so bad. And I went and started talking to her. I bought her a cup of gave her some Gatorade and ice, And after a couple hours, she was smiling, she was laughing, she gave me a hug, she thanked me, and I saw something. What did Benjamin see? What did Jam see? I told God, that's it, God. You know, I'm tired of feeling sorry to myself. I'm tired of being this loser person that people hate. I want to help other people. I'm tired of pain. I don't want people to be in pain. I don't want people to hurt. I want to be the person that helps people. So that's my dedication to you, God, is that help me figure out how to be that person that I can help people. So that's what I said to God. So eventually it was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night because I was there all day long. So it's late, it's night. I'm sitting at a McDonald's. My mom and daughter finally show up with my son-in-law. They pick me up, and I'm so exhausted. I just get in the truck and pass out, and we drive all the way back to Mississippi, which is 8 hours away. And that's the next part of the story. So we'll stop this here, and we'll go to the next session. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. This is Jam's Adventures. Please like and subscribe. Normally I do Adventures channel stuff with traveling, and I'm so intermittently between these videos of talking about emotional stuff and trauma, we're also going to have adventure stuff. So please keep watching my channel, like and subscribe, leave in the comments what's going on in your life and how you're doing, and I'll try to get back to you. Also, I have stickers, Jam's Adventure stickers. If you'd like a Jam's Adventure sticker, all you have to do is give me your address, and I'll send you a Jam's Adventure sticker. You can message me or message me on the YouTube channel, and we have a Gmail, so you can Gmail me on the YouTube channel, and that Gmail address, Jam's Adventures, whatever it is, I don't remember what it is, but jamsadventure01@gmail, I think is what it is. But make sure that's the email. Email me your address and tell me you'd like a sticker, and I'll make sure to get that sticker out to you. But leave a comment also on whichever video you're watching that you want a sticker. That way I'll check my Gmail, because I don't check it very often, but I'll check the Gmail and get your address and send you a Jam's Adventure sticker. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us, and the next video we'll continue this conversation, and have a great day. Bye.